Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of How To presented by Route 66 RVs. Today we're going to focus on the 10 must-have parts you're going to need for your RV to get out there and having fun, so let's do it. Alright, so we're going to talk about them now, and these are in no particular order. Starting at number 10, the most, and this is honestly the most important thing for any RVer. Surge protection. Make sure you get yourself a good quality surge protector. Now, you don't necessarily have to spend $400 or $500. You don't have to get the top models. Make sure you have a good Joule rating, and it's nice, like with the Hughes here, we can link up with our phone and always keep an eye on our park power. Now, a lot of people think it's just for storms. It's not just for storms. It's for open grounds, open neutrals, open faults, anything that can happen in the park. If you know something's wrong, you can get it addressed. So at number 10, surge protectors. All right, up next, mud dauber screens or insect screens. Mud dauber screens are one of the most important investments any RVer can make. Whether you're in a travel trailer or a fifth wheel or a motorhome, mud daubers will cause thousands of dollars of damage if they get inside your appliances. So make sure you go ahead and get the right mud dauber screens for each appliance. Furnaces, water heaters, and fridges. If you go ahead and cover those main areas, you're going to be a lot better off in the long run and a lot happier. All right, so now we're going to talk about water regulators. A water regulator is something everybody needs. Now, it is more to keep you safe. Some parks have very high PSI. If you hook up to a park that is well above 60 PSI, which your RV should be rated at, you could possibly blow your faucets and your plumbing. So we want to make sure this is the first thing in our signal chain when it comes to our water. This will go at the water spigot, our freshwater hose will go to the trailer, and then we're good to go. Our hose is protected as well as our RV. Now, I also want to say not all regulators are created equal. You want to make sure that it says between 50 and 55 if possible, and the minimum you want is 45 to 50. The 50 to 55 is going to give you the best possible shower you can have. That way you can get the shampoo out of your hair, get out there and keep having fun. All right, next up, while we're still on freshwater, you guessed it, our water hose. We want to make sure that we have an FDA approved freshwater drinking hose. Now, if we're only going to do 25 feet, a 1/2 inch hose will be okay. If we're going to move up past 50 and beyond, let's go ahead and bump that hose up to a 5/8 diameter to make sure you still get the good water flow and your shower's not lacking. All right, up next, we're going to hit one more thing on freshwater, hose savers. 90 or 45 degree, this is a great $8 to $10 investment. The reason it is, not only does it keep your hose from kinking, it will allow you not to strip out your city water connection on your unit. So a $300 fix turns into an $8 fix next time you need one. Just put another one on your trailer and you're back out there. All right, so now we're going to talk about black tank chemicals. There's 3 subcategories of black tank chemicals. The first one being the most common, which is our traditional packets or AquaChem. It works more like a Band-Aid. A lot of it will have formaldehyde in it. It might have some remnants of a bacterial incentive to it, but it's not going to be like option number 2, which is strictly bacterial. It puts good bacteria in, which creates somewhere around 6 billion enzymes a day. That way it eats away at the waste, the paper, the underlying problem while still lubing your seals, cleaning your probes, and eating away at everything. That's what I suggest from the very beginning, just to create a good ecosystem inside your tank and keep going. Now, the third option, this is if you already have a big problem. If you have an issue, a blockage, or a horrible odor, this would be a good product and a good way to go about it. I wouldn't necessarily use this for every treatment, but definitely use as needed. The next one is sewer hoses. Now, I'm not going to talk about any particular brands. The one behind me is also a Titan, but that's okay. It's a great hose. What you want to look for in a good sewer hose, just remember, you get what you pay for. You want a good collapsible hose, so if you accidentally run over it with the truck, you're not springing a leak. You want to try to get a clear or frosted white 90-degree connector going into the ground. That way when you're flushing your tanks, you know when you're clear and you don't accidentally run the risk of picking up a loaded hose, if you know what I'm saying. Just be careful out there and get yourself a good sewer hose. All right, now we're going to talk about plastics, in particular blocks and leveling products. This is an ultra fab set. It comes with 8 blocks, so you can make any shape you want. You can also put these on the corners of your stabilization jacks and also put it underneath your tongue jack to make unhooking and hooking up a breeze. Now, if you strictly want it for the tongue jack or the stab jacks, Anderson makes great products as well. These solid blocks are awesome. So you might take a look at those and any other leveling products you can find, but this is a must-have. You will want some plastics. We're going to talk about chocks now. We just talked about our other plastics. We're going to talk about chocks. Chocks are just a great safety thing to have. Make sure you go ahead and lock those wheels down, chock them down. Whether they're locking or non-locking, get yourself a set of chocks. Last but not least, levelers. Levelers come in many forms and configurations. They're all pretty good. Just make sure you level your RV before sticking them on. That way your RV will actually level out and you're not acting like this guy trying to level your first RV and he can't get it done. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of How To presented by Route 66 RVs. I'm Kyle. We'll see you next time.